Hi, welcome to Web Design Project. We are going to continue to do slicing. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found here at this URL, which is loaded here. So we are going to continue to do our slicing. All right, so we have our files in the Web Design 2026. The index and contact us PSD file are here. We are going to export the slicing into folder 32, which is empty right now. So I have the files loaded here. So this is index, which is sliced, and contact us, which is sliced. Let's try to export the index. Okay. To do that, we go to File, do Export, and save for Web Legacy, which is slicing is a very old tool. Is actually, I believe, when it's really old. I cannot even remember how old. Probably it's like 20 years. Okay, let's try. Let's 10 years, 20 years. Okay, let's do that. So what it does is automatically export all the slices images and slice for you. So you don't have to export them one by one. So click on that. And then you can actually make them smaller by use the Alt key. So just make sure everything is selected and make sure it's JPEG file, very high. Change the quality to say 95%. Okay. So make sure it's JPEG file, not G file. Okay. If it's G file, you lose quality. Okay. So let's do a save and then go to CTEM Web Design 2026 32 folder, code HTML CSS. Make sure change the format to HTML and images, not just images only. Yeah, let's do that. And then file name is index.html. I want to show you what this feature actually does, although we only just need the images. Okay, make sure you change to that. Correct folder, file name is index, and save. Okay, so let's see what happened. So if we go to here, you realize that they created a folder called images. Inside they have, they slice all the files. For example, this one is the one we defined, right? This one is the top navigation and all that. And they are all JPEG files. For example, this is a JPEG file. Is the dimension, if you right click, look at properties, the dimension of the JPEG file is what we sliced, 634 times 425. Okay, so it comes in really handy and it's a really quick operation. All right. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is do a file save and then go back to contact us. So we are going to export the contact us as well. So let's do a file export, export as, sorry, save for web legacy. Used to be here, but anyway, save for web legacy. You can also make them smaller, so you can Alt key, save, see the whole thing. And JPEG, very high, 65. Save. Make sure you choose the correct folder. HTML and images. Of course, they follow the contact us file name. Save. Okay, Let's see what we have done, okay? So if you come over here, you realize they generate another file, contact us HTML, and then they generate all the images files. For example, this one is a JPEG file. Make sure it's a JPEG file, not a G file, from contact us, okay? And then this is another JPEG file from contact us. So make sure that they are JPEG files. One thing you can do is if they didn't export the correct JPEG files, they export G files, you can actually go and adjust individual selections and choose on the left side and then change it to JPEG files. Okay. All right, so we're done here. So let's look at what we have just exported. So what is this HTML file? If you look at this, if you double click on it and open it in a web browser, you realize, hey, did they just create this for us? We don't have to do anything. You know, actually it's not. This is actually a old format, really old format, old HTML format. If you look at if you right click and open this with, say, Notepad++, I have Notepad++ installed, so I just open it. For you, you can use any editor. Or let's just open it with Dreamweaver, shall we? Let's do a quick open with Dreamweaver. And if you look at the code view, what you have is a huge table. Okay, and you know today these tags are outdated. You know, you cannot use this table anymore, but it gives you a very interesting view about what it can look like. So you technically have to code this using CSS now. You cannot really use a table, but it just give a good overview of what it is, okay? Which is kind of interesting. All right, so we cannot use this. So what are we going to do? We actually are more interested in the images, okay? So we are going to make a copy of the images subfolder. Just copy the whole thing and then paste. We are just going to paste into the 33 folder, navigation. Okay. Although technically we can code here, but we are going to just code the whole thing in the navigation and finish it off. Just paste here. And then we don't need everything, okay? We need this, but we do not need this spacer. So we are going to delete this. We do not need this spacer. So all the spacers we actually do not need. So we do not need this. We need this. We do not need the spacer here. So you can just right click and delete those. We do not need this. We do not need this. We need this. We do not need this. We do not need this. We do not need this. We need this. We can delete this one. We need this. We can delete this. We can get rid of this. Get rid of that. We need this, and I'm pretty sure we do not need this too. Okay, so we are almost done here, okay? And we can technically code here in this folder, but since we copy everything here, we can just start coding in this folder. But if you delete anything wrong, like you delete the image wrong, you don't have to re-export. You can always come back here and look at the images that we exported, which is very useful here. Okay. All right. I think it's a good place to stop. And the next video, we are going to start coding. Okay. But we also need to export the background. Okay. And we are going to do that in the next video. Right. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. Bye.